magic number today. We're playing a doubleheader here in Durham and a 5-woman infield for the first batter of the game for Wilmington. Taylor Vitola, who will test that 5-man infield and beat it out on the air. So a quick start here for Wilmington.
And that's exactly the start you want if you're head coach Ashley Wade. They moved Giselle Tapia, the first baseman, over to sort of the shortstop's position. So the scorebook will have a fun little, asterisk there. Brought Claire Davidson, the right fielder, to play first. But Vitola bouncing it, chopping it, finding a way on base to start things off. Taylor's been on in 12 of her last 13 games, the senior from Middletown, Delaware. And now one of the team captains, Skylar Stockton, up at the plate. Wilmington is a scrappy offensive team. They're not going to hit for a ton of power. In fact, less than 1 home run every 5 games. Just 3 homers this year for Wilmington. But an elite stolen base team. 25 steals a game. Or pardon me, top 25 in steals. Just over 3 a game. And rain today with Freilich behind the plate, a Duke defense that's been solid this year. How will Wilmington try to test this Duke defense? Well, they're going to have to manufacture runs. They're going to have to move pieces around and hope for the timely hitting. We talked to head coach Ashley Wade a few days ago, and she said we're not going to be able to run all over this team like we're used to. Here's an immediate running attempt and a nice stolen base. Taking advantage of a breaking ball there with Vitola on the steal. Yeah, with the high concentration of changeups from Danny Drugmuller in the circle, a really nice call there to test the arm of Freilich right away, and Vitola steals one. That's 48 stolen bases, an aggressive base-stealing team. Now Jackson State, they'll steal 4 bags a night, but Wilmington in the top 20 in the country, really good at running. So Stockton there a bit late, and the first punch out for the pit transfer. If she can locate that pitch on the edge, good luck to these Wilmington hitters. Yeah, she's got high velocity in plus movement. There we see the drop ball. She gets the swing and miss, and the first strikeout of the day for the senior. The senior arm, what a luxury to this pitching staff that has the #1 pitcher in the country right now by ERA, Jayla Wright. Of course, Cassidy Curd returning All-American, and this one's sprayed foul. It's the depth for this Duke pitching staff that allows Marissa Young to go into an all-conference pitcher, if you will, but deep into her bag in these doubleheaders. These are not the years of Najari Candidate throwing 90% of innings. There's a lot of depth in this Duke staff. And a good change of speeds there to Mary Sabatica, the senior shortstop. Mary, the emotional leader, the grad senior who stayed at Wilmington for her 5th year. That was a big recruiting pitch for second-year coach Ashley Wade. A team that came off a tournament title. Former head coach takes a new opportunity. Coach Wade comes in, and 90% of the roster return really shows that chemistry here in Wilmington. Yeah, she's talked about the culture that she's built, and she said the culture was good before, but we're really trying to elevate it during her tenure as well. The longtime Northern Illinois head coach, she was the associate head coach for 5 years and takes over. It certainly helps that Wilmington had 4 first-team all-conference players in her previous season. Club that won the regular season but had a tough go of it in the tournament. It was Hofstra, a feisty club winning the CAA last year. So Sabatica pokes one to center. Easy play there for Deanna Jennings, one of the best outfielders in the country, for the second out. And there we see Drugmuller using the off-speed again, getting Sabatica, the hottest hitter in this lineup, out on her front foot. Does a really nice job of executing that pitch here. Now getting 2 outs here in the top of the first. This Duke staff's only allowed 24 earned runs in 150 innings. Hard to fathom how well this team's pitching it this year. And Morgan Britt, who gets the start in right, will work ahead in the count. It's a Wilmington offense that's coming off 2 really good CAA weekends, 6-0 in the conference. And Morgan, her bat came to life. 5 hits in the Elon series. The grad transfer coming in. Off the end of the bat. Oh, that drops in for a base hit. Aggressive running, and Wilmington strikes first. Coach Ashley Wade pushing all the right buttons, scoring Vitola. Such nice base running and really good decision making by the third base coach and the head coach of this team, Ashley Wade, to send Vitola 2 outs. You're going on contact there. Amina Vega unable to pick it up, but it's next play. You got to understand that Vitola is going to take home and give that up to the catcher, Francesca Freelich. The Seahawks steal one here in the first.
Ashley Wade said in our conversation, she's going to push all the buttons, be aggressive on the bases. A stolen base, now a run scored. And a Wilmington team that hasn't won a quote-unquote Power 5 game in 5 years, off to a great start here in this first inning. You asked me in 3 years, I don't know how many Power conferences there'll be, but the ACC and the softball landscape among the best right now. Number 3 Duke, or pardon me, number 4 Duke right now. In a great battle. Lauren Cope, the first baseman, now up. Cope's riding a 3-game hit streak coming in. And Drugmuller, the pit transfer, calling her signs with a ground ball here. Nice play across the diamond for Baker to end it. Wilmington, though, takes advantage of good base running. And a 1-0 start. The elite speedster at center field. This is a Duke team right now hitting .350 as an offense. 9th in the country behind Texas, the top offense in the land. And fittingly, both defenses rolling with 5 women infields to start this first inning.
Yeah, it's funny how the game has progressed and changed, as we already have our third base umpire.
Is that a possible illegal pitch?
Could be. Has
a conversation here with our home plate umpire, John Chambers. Jimmy Robinson over at first. And there's Steve Rhodes, who noticed something. So he'll ask for Ashley Wade to come out.
I think they're going to talk about what is on the right arm of Peyton Ecker.
Oh, and is that considered a distraction to the hitter? It looks like a wrist guard to protect herself from a line drive. No, you're right, because players can't have a sleeve and then a non-sleeve, but that seems more like a medical device than anything else.
Yeah, that's correct. And that could have been prompted by head coach Marissa Young in the ear of Steve Rhodes, our third base umpire, to see if that is eligible. Looks like it is medical tape, medically related, so they will allow it.
I am not a doctor, nor pretend to play one on television, but I certainly know that's not an issue for a hitter. Great call there, Rain. Kinesio tape that really loosens up your joints when you get tight in the morning. Peyton Eckerd from Swansboro, North Carolina, on the coast, about an hour away from Wilmington, where she was an all-conference tennis standout along with a softball pitcher. Delivers a good strike into Jennings. This is a Wilmington staff that's been elite in the CAA, 2.1 team ERA. Emily Winstead and Kara Hammock are a dynamic 1-2 combo. And Coach Wade told us we're going to see all 4 pitchers today for the Seahawks. As Eckerd forces weak contact, good play there by Cope for the opening out.
And anytime you can get Deanna Jennings out, it is a good thing. Deanna Jennings so good at using the ground, great bat-to-ball skills. But there we see the freshman come in, step up, get the first out of the inning after your offense gives you the lead.
Deanna Jennings, who gets on at a 460 clip. That is such a difficult out. There aren't many easy ones in this Duke lineup, and the power hitting Anna Gold comes in. All she's done after prolific sophomore season is even better. 19 home runs last year, took the ACC by storm in her all first-team ACC honors. And this year, another breakout series against Florida State. 4 big hits, had a key 2-run double in the Game 3 win that put Duke over number 16 Florida State, and has now cemented Duke and Virginia Tech as the 2 heavy hitters here 3 weeks into conference. Oh, with a big swing there on 2-0.
Yeah, and Anna Gold has really stepped into that veteran role. From last year, this year, she's much more patient in the box. She's taken her base on balls. But man, she packs such a punch with that swing. She controls her move forward well.
Got underneath this pitch from Eckerd. And a good second out there for Corbin, the third baseman. This is a Wilmington team that fields it pretty well. 970 fielding percentage, top 50 in the country. I want to know what's in the gloves down in in the swamp. 987 for the Florida Gators in SEC play.
That's a Tim Walton effect right there. What a job he does with that program.
Elite defensively, always a regional caliber program. That one flips in for a strike. We noted in the ACC, but how about the start for Georgia Tech? 7-2. They're nipping at the heels of Virginia Tech and Duke, two top 20 programs. And Florida State in the rare position they would be on the outside looking in right now, just 2 weeks into conference. All roads lead right back here to this ballpark in Durham for the ACC tournament, which is less than 2 months away, May 8th, believe it or not. Now it's Claire Davidson with 2 outs. She's aggressive early and a 1-2 count. Claire has been an exclusive hitter this year for Duke, and her bat has come to life. 7 RBI in the Florida State series. 2 huge home runs down in Tallahassee and really propelled Duke to that Game 3 win. This time she hits it hard, and everyone on the infield getting involved for the Seahawks in the first inning. That's Vitola. And a 1-2-3 inning for Peyton Eckerd as we continue with Rain Wilson. I'm Evan Budrovich. Wilmington scores an unearned run in the first, and now Gentry Meadows, the catcher, will hit leadoff. Both staffs using tertiary arms today. We're not going to see the aces right away for either of these teams. It's unique, Rain, and you've played in these midweeks when you gear up for whether it's ACC or CA play, that balance as a staff, winning the midweeks but gearing up for the weekends.
Yeah, absolutely. Understanding how the strength of schedule kind of plays into the end of the year when the NCAA committee is making those decisions. You know, for UNCW, this would add quite greatly to their resume. For Duke, you're not ever trying not to lose. You're always trying to win, but you have to keep it in the back of your mind to save those arms for ACC play this weekend.
Duke at number 19 in RPI today. That's a unique conversation, right? Because you're 4 in the country. But if you're Marissa Young, you also want to maintain that top 8 to host a super in a region.
Absolutely. It's the balance of having a really solid record, but also balancing strength of schedule, balancing RPI. Right now, this team's only 2 losses. I think they've proven to be top 10 in the country, but RPI takes the eye test out of it, right? It's just math. It's just strength of schedule, wins and losses, and right now we see them at 19.
The Duke team off its first super regional appearance last year, battled tough, a top 8 Stanford team. And now Gentry Meadows, bottom 4th of the UNCW lineup. Gentry rips one to first in good hands by Tapia for the opening out.
Yeah, it's a really nice play by Giselle Tapia, especially after committing that error in the first to reset and stab that ball that was drilled down the line by Gentry Meadows.
Tapia, 2-year starter at first, and now in this shift, you see her moving over essentially to shortstop. And then Claire Davidson will move to first base. It's a new age of way to slow down speed, that's for sure. As Elizabeth Winstead tests that defense, and right on cue, a good play for Baker. And I wonder if, as a slap hitter, if there's any mental aspect where you try to poke it to right or beat the defense, if you will.
Well, part of that is the fact that as a defense, as a pitching staff, you're going to pitch away. You're not going to give her anything in, but the off.
And Allison Corbin, the third baseman, now comes in. After a slight delay, a great breaking ball there from Drugmuller.
Yeah, she's working in the off-speed early and often. I actually really appreciate that strategy, attacking early, using all of her repertoire to get outs, knowing how deep your bullpen is.
Corbin, the true freshman, part of a young roster, 11 freshmen, all recruited now by Ashley Wade. This is year 2 for the longtime Northern Illinois assistant, taking over a reigning tournament champ in UNC Wilmington. Good response on the strike to Corbin. Duke staff that found a way to win a tough game Sunday at Florida State, 9-5. That went to extras after a lead was lost. Duke, though, pulled it out. And now a deep pop-up battling that sun. Hold on, Jennings. And she found it the last second for a tough third out. Actually,
that is the third out as well. Uh-oh.
You're really into that type of stuff. Reporting of shifting positions is all legal, especially defensively. Good news. Quick inning for both teams. Now we head to the bottom of the second for Amina Vega. Vega and these Duke bats have come to life here in 2024. Amina's hitting .390 this year, team leading 8 doubles. Has been a catalyst for one of the best offenses in the country. And Amina, as a freshman, was a standout impact player, of course, with the 12 homers, but her consistency reign has jumped from year 1 to year 2.
Absolutely. She's a professional hitter in the box. Now she can cover all sides of the plate. She can adjust pitch to pitch.
And ropes one towards her own coaching staff foul. Was a first-team All-ACC player as a freshman, and that's hard to do in any conference, but especially for here in the ACC, where there were 6 NCAA tournament teams, a bunch of regional hosts. Vega, who back in the summer of her high school year was actually a UCF recruit, found Duke as a second home, has helped transform this team offensively, and we've seen her presence all over the field.
And people forget that she had a very slow, quote-unquote, start to her freshman campaign, made some errors defensively, kind of was uncomfortable in the box, but then to turn around and to be named first-team All-ACC, it speaks to the work ethic of the sophomore.
That time she gets hit by a pitch and will kickstart the second inning. Wrap up that point on Vega. She's coming off maybe her best ACC weekend. 4 hits, 6 RBI against Florida State. And you know, come conference time, Rain, you want those middle lineup players to step up here in the ACC.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when it counts. That's when it matters. And Amina Vega has played her best softball when it matters.
True freshman Peyton Eckerd, a really nice first inning. 13 pitches. She is battling here in the second. Facing a Duke order that in conference play now, just 2 weekends in, but hitting .320 as an offense. 5 home runs in those first 6 games. Tremendous power. Now some eyes on the Bates pass for Meadows behind the dish.
And what makes this offense so dynamic is they can do it in all different types of ways. We've seen them use the bunt, we've seen them use the ground, we've seen them steal, but they also have the power component as well.
There's a good back pick. Yeah, that small ball for Duke is an underrated part of this offense. 12 sack hits, 8 sacrifices. A team that clearly can hit for power with the 28 home runs, but then you add in this element of their game. Runner takes off this time. Good jump. And in there. There was a pitch violation regardless.
So I actually think they had obstruction going into second. Didn't matter because it was ball 4 anyway.
Yeah, great catch there. Quick discussion with Janelle Hayes, the pitching coach. Her first year from Kent State, where she was all MAC.
The designated player, number 3, Kelly Torres.
So a hit batter and a walk have gotten things started for Duke here in this second inning. An offense that came into this game 6th in the country in scoring, almost 8 runs a night. And a little small ball this time. Bunted foul from Kelly Torres, the DP.
Yeah, and even with all the power that Duke has, we can see that head coach Marissa Young still pushing the buttons to manufacture runs early in this game, wants to give her team some confidence, already down early here against UNCW.
That was an unearned run, the difference. Very patient here for Duke offensively. We talk about the accolades, but it's nearly identical walks to strikeouts for Duke at the plate. Let's help fuel a .420 on base percentage. Oh, now the ball gets away from Meadows, and that almost rolls into the dugout. That would have scored a run right there. Good coverage by Courtney. Ruled that an error officially, so second and third. Good stop there by Meadows, the returning starter behind the plate. A Wilmington team that last year only fielded at a 950 clip. They've taken a nice jump here. The second year for Coach Wade, up to 970.
There we go.
This could score the first run. Britt has space, great speed to the plate, and the Blue Devils score first on the sac fly.
A really nice job by Kelly Torres there to shorten up her approach.
How many sac flies did you have in your career, Rain? Did you ever keep track of those?
No idea.
I figure like home runs players remember. I don't know if sac flies is one high on your list. Maybe walk-off hits?
I can't even tell you how many of anything I had, to be honest with you.
That's why you were an all-ACC player, focused on the craft and now focused on the broadcast side of things. 2 outs here for Jada Baker. Filthy breaking ball there.
That's a really nice off-speed pitch. If Eckert can locate that and mix in the hard stuff with that, it's going to make her hard stuff look even faster to these Duke hitters.
Redshirt sophomore and 2-year starter Jada Baker trying to extend this inning. More impressively for Baker, her fielding percentage has taken a big jump and a tough position to play here in the infield for Duke. Last year she was around 930, which is probably 20-30 points below national average that you want from a elite shortstop, and this year Baker's taken a nice jump for Duke. Another filthy pitch for strike 2.
And that's been a point of emphasis for Duke from last year to this year. The fielding percentage did not jump off the page at you last year. I believe it was in the 120s even at some points of the season. So this year, for them to improve upon that so much and for Jada Baker to improve upon that speaks to her work ethic.
That time she gets hit on the 3-2 and able to reach base. Because you're right, that there is a separation between, of course, getting Oklahoma City and then being a super or regional team, and maybe for Duke defense was part of that last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes all 3 phases of the game. If you look at the 8 teams that make it to Oklahoma City, by far and large, those teams play all 3 phases incredibly well. Last year, defense was the one phase for Duke that they wanted to improve on greatly.
Looks like Jada's okay. So Giselle Tapia has been very busy over there at first base. Gets her first at bat. Puts a good swing on it into the gap, and that gets past relay. Another run scores for the Devils. And Tapia has caught no man's land, but safe.
Wow.
I think that run would have scored regardless, but a good break there if you're Duke.
Yeah, that one looked really close at second, but we'll focus on the bat-to-ball skills by Giselle Tapia. It was interesting. UNCW had Skylar Stockton playing closer to the left field line, understanding the spray of Giselle Tapia. That time she dumps it deep enough into left center gap. Cassie Relay unable to make the play, and Giselle Tapia attacks on an RBI.
Number 10, Deanna Jennings.
Clutch piece and 2-out hitting from the Blue Devils. Crazy enough, Tapia came into this game hitting .095 with 2 outs. That's a big double for Duke. And now this top of the lineup against what I call the spiderweb defense. There are players everywhere for Wilmington.
Deanna Jennings uses the ground 3/4 of the time, right around 75.8% of the time. So I like this move by UNCW to bring more bodies into the infield.
There's Exhibit A. You're not a rounding up person? You won't give her 76?
Yeah, let's say 76%. Yeah.
Maybe I'm more generous. Jennings, though, such a tough out in this Duke lineup. Now second on the team with a .460 OBP. And Coach Young there having some fun with her star first baseman. There's not much real estate here for Deanna, who hit one hard to first her last time. Now the runner takes off as Meadows had a brief pause and a good stolen base.
Yeah, this Duke team takes advantage of the extra 60 feet anytime they can, especially the young lady in the box right now, Deanna Jennings, so good at taking advantage of her speed.
Jennings, the freshman All-American according to D1 softball, and did .460 as a freshman. She's maybe not reached that mark this year, but has gotten better, continued to grow. That's a hard stretch in the first year in an ACC.
And she doesn't just use the short game. She will power slap it through the left side as well. So she's got all 5 tools.
There's a power pop-up. This is dangerous with the wind and off the glove of Stockton. The Jennings, that hits the umpire, and Deanna heads for third. A lot just happened right there, but Duke adds to its lead.
The Seahawks should be thanking first base umpire Jimmy Robinson for stopping that ball, because the throw in by Stockton, if that had gotten by our first place umpire, Deanna Jennings would be in the dugout right now sipping some Gatorade.
Yeah, that wind's blowing in hard from left, and Stockton wasn't able to get up to that ball. And now in a 4-1 game, on a goal could really do damage for Duke. We talk about it, though, so many times. These 2-out rallies can be detrimental to any team. Duke, impressive, though, taking advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Each batter is going up with an intention to battle, to have a quality at bat, and I think we've seen that here in the bottom of the second.
Duke already 2 hits with 2 outs today. And have extended the inning here for Peyton Eckert, who needed just 13 pitches in the first. She's at 40 pitches now. The true freshman from Swansboro, the Pirates. Swansboro's a great vacation town if you get a chance. Down by the Atlantic Beach coast. Ooh, on a goal, took a filthy hack.
And although you look at the scoreboard and maybe if you're Peyton Eckert, you're not happy with the results, but what a good experience for the freshman, for the true freshman. I love this move by head coach Ashley Wade, knowing you're playing 2 here in Durham, to put the freshman in these uncomfortable moments. Because when you look at how this inning has sort of transpired, you can just circle the first 2 batters. She hits Vega, she gives up a 4-pitch walk to Amaya Burgess right after that. So that's a controllable for Peyton Eckert to improve on as she moves throughout her career.
Eckert locates well, and Coach Young kick saves it foul. A great player in her own right. With an all-conference junior and on a goal, Coach Young talking her through this at-bat as the count works full 3-2. Well located and a great stab by Corbin to end the inning. Duke, though, takes advantage of a couple of will transfer. Danny Drug-Muller, who's allowed 1 unearned run. So Cassidy Relay was uncommitted her high school senior year. Coach Wade comes into Wilmington last season and gets a DM on Twitter, finds a friend you should follow type situation, reaches out to Cassidy, and all of a sudden she becomes available. She fills a huge role and is now one of the best hitters in this Wilmington lineup, all thanks to Twitter or X.
Yeah, what a cool world we live in, where young players can have an opportunity to play at the next level because of social media. You know, oftentimes we talk about the negative effects of social media, but here with relay, we see a positive one.
Yeah, Ashley Wade said, wait, she's available? She's an option for us? Out of New Jersey, comes down to Wilmington and commits on her visit, taking a strike. And relay has some big shoes to fill. All-conference outfielder Ariel Pierce, she's out for the year with a knee injury. So in comes the red-hot relay, who's hitting on a 5-game streak. Facing the pit transfers, calling her own pitches and dotting it up well for the strikeout.
Yeah, there we saw the off-speed pitch at 60 miles per hour, arm side from Danny Drummuller. And what that pitch does is it just throws off the timing of the batters completely, because Danny will throw that drop ball around 70 miles per hour, upper 60. So to pull a string on the off-speed rise ball and use it arm side, what a job by the graduate student.
First pitch contact. That ball was deadened perfectly and a better throw. Great defense from Duke. Now remember, that's Tapia, who's actually playing over at quote-unquote second, firing to Davidson for the out.
Yeah, and that was an adjustment from the first inning when Vitola got that single, or the error actually on Giselle Tapia. It would have been a close play anyway, but instead they moved Tapia towards the middle on the second base side instead of the third base side.
That was a tough first inning for Tapia, but she's been really good the last 2 frames. Big drop pitch there to Skylar Stockton, who comes in as hot as any hitter in the CAA. Reigning CAA Player of the Week, just announced yesterday. Right now hitting .407 in her senior year. Blasts another one off the mitt of Burgess. And that time a hit for Wilmington, their second of the game.
Yeah, Stockton has just had a career year at the plate, finding barrels, and we see it there. She finds a pitch over the white, kills time with her legs, and just slams that ball out to left. And I know if Amaya Burgess, if we asked her right now, she would say, yep, give me the arrow, I should have made that play. But good things happen when you hit the ball hard.
Also neat, Skylar Stockton's the hit-by-pitch leader all-time at Wilmington. So she hits barrels and she gets hit. Such a fun tandem as that one hits her own teammate foul. Mary Sabatica, the heart and soul of this Wilmington team in the eyes of Coach Wade. She's the loud vocal leader, and that was something that we'd asked Coach Wade about. You come into a program 2 years ago. She said, yeah, we leaned on players like Sabatica, who's in grad school right now. She's taken 1 class online, so she's at the field every hour of the day down in Wilmington. This time she skies one in the air. With 2 outs, this could be dangerous, and Burgess makes up for the mistake. Header, UNC Wilmington. Coming up to Durham to take on number 4 Duke. And Bark in the Park Day had a very cute 3rd grader just read the lineups this half inning. I don't know, I might have to take my turn in the 4th. We can just trade off for the rest of the day. Very dangerous Duke offense, taking advantage of 2 Wilmington errors early for this 4-1 start. And now Claire Davidson, who's made a great transition from pitching, hitting, utility to hitting only. And Rain, I know you've had a chance to talk with Claire on your podcast. What a great player here that stepped up and taken advantage of a new role.
An absolute career year for Claire Davidson. You know, if I were a betting woman, I'm not a betting woman, but if I were, I'd be betting that Claire Davidson is an All-American by the time we get to June. And, you know, talk about the transition of going from a utility where you can do both. Now she says, look, I don't have to leave BP to go throw a bullpen. I can stay, get my swings in, and man, has it paid off for Claire Davidson.
The senior's hitting .443 right now, and she gets hit by that pitch. Now, she was an option in the Duke pen the last few years, but last year only pitched in 10 starts, a handful of games, and here now is an offensive threat. You're right, on pace for an all-ACC type year, and even mentally, you know this is a hitter, to have that singular focus just improved her game.
Yeah, and she just talked about how, you know, she kind of misses the balance. If she's having a bad day at the plate, she can have a better day in the circle, but I don't know if she's had any bad days at the plate so far this year.
Coming off a 7 RBI series against Florida State. And carrying the middle of this lineup, Amina Vega now in for Duke. Yeah, what a hidden weapon from Marissa Young. Davidson did hit .325 last year. But now a full-time offensive threat, showing off the wheels, and there you go. Stolen base for Claire.
And looks like our first base umpire, Jimmy Robinson, is going to call Claire Davidson out for leaving early.
Oh, great catch.
Something that has become a point of emphasis this year, a new rule that is reviewable now. And so now, you know, say Amina Vega had hit a home run there and UNCW had reviewed that call, Claire Davidson left early, it's a dead ball out. So definitely a point of emphasis for our umpiring crew this year to get that call right.
Oh, if that would have left the park, I would have laughed right there. Instead, a loud pop-up to left to Stockton. For those watching at home, great point. Keep an eye on when the pitcher releases the ball out of their hand. That is the go time. Of course, you can lean off the base, but you cannot clear until that pitch is out of her hand.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussions about, you know, how necessary it is to be able to review that call. We've changed the pitching clock from 25 seconds to now 20 seconds to hopefully speed up the game. And now we're going to review calls.
That ball is dead and in play, and what a throw. No review needed there. Meadow, middle of the Wilmington lineup. Morgan Britt will get things started. UNCW team that is fresh off 2 straight sweeps in the CAA, and Britt will test this defense. Easy hands there for Vega and a first out.
Amina Vega, you know, professional in the batter's box, but also a professional at second base. For young players out there, watch how Amina Vega attacks the ball. Slow roller there, she attacks, throws on the run, and makes that play look entirely too easy.
Vega started 85 games now on the infield for Duke. A stud sophomore. Good pitch in there to Lauren Cope, the first baseman. Cope had 5 hits in the Elon series. That was a weekend last year that gave Wilmington trouble. They actually dropped 2 of 3. And Coach Wade said that was a big turning point this year, being able to dominate our in-state foes. As Cope shoots one out of here on the East Campus in Durham. I bet the puppies would race after that if they let them. They're all stuck on the hill over here in right field. Part of a doubleheader for Bark in the Park Day. Cope chases, and a nice punch out for Danny Drugmuller. That's her 3rd.
Yeah, she's working very effectively, very efficiently, attacking the zone early, but also using the off-speed early in counts 2, and then she speeds up the batters with the hard stuff, and she gets the strikeout there.
A former all-conference closer at Pitt, coming in as a grad transfer. And these are big moments for Duke, figuring out their staff, who they have outside of Wright and Curd and others, and Walker. As that one actually kicked back into the seats. Good news, I think everyone's okay.
Head on a swivel here in Durham.
Gentry Meadows, the catcher, takes a big whiff. The grad senior who elected among her 5 other grad seniors to stay for their final year here at UNCW. She's from the pride of Mooresville, across the state, just outside Charlotte, where she won 2 state titles for the Spinners. That time looks like she went, and that does strike out. So back-to-back Ks for the Duke ace. Gets good midweek action and 4 scoring coming in against the senior Kelly Torres. Torres, who will spend most of her time behind the plate, gets the start at DP today. Duke bats that really came to life in the first and 3rd game of the Florida State series. 10 runs Friday, 9 runs, and an extra inning win Saturday. Now off the end of the bat, this will test the Seahawks. Nice recovery, and it looks like she lost her shoe. Torres, oh no, sorry, lost her shin guard, ran right out of it.
Really nicely executed executed pitch by Peyton Eckert, the freshman there, to use the off-speed, catch Torres out front off the end of the bat. To get the first out of the inning against this Duke offense is so critical as we move into later innings.
4 runs in the second. That's been the big offense for Duke today, and largely due to 2 errors for Wilmington. UNCW team and a Duke program. Now, Duke that is young as a softball team in the grand scheme of things. It's a rare matchup for these two. Instead, this ball's blasted to left, and that one's gone. Freilich with a monster shot here in the 4th.
For Francesca Freilich. Stand up and get loud for a t-shirt call.
Career home run number 12 for Francesca Freilich, who gets donned. Celebrating in the Duke dugout right there.
That's a pretty good celebration. I gotta give them credit.
Number 25, Jada Baker.
And a really nice swing by Francesca Freilich to find a ball over the white, keep her barrel up on top of that thing, and line drive out of the park.
For those wondering what's going on beyond the scoreboard, there is a video board being installed this year with the hopes of having that ready to go for the ACC tournament and at the end of the regular season. They'll slide the scoreboard over to the right and put a whole video Daktronics system right above it. Will make for an electric atmosphere, an already great home ballpark here, Rain, and certainly speaks to what Duke is developing for this softball team.
Yeah, super exciting advancements for this team, and what a job head coach Marissa Young has done in such a short amount of time here in Durham. The video board is just another one of those advancements.
Fresh off the year, Duke made its first ever Super. They'll host their first ever ACC tournament. And Duke will be a prime favorite right now. Them, Virginia Tech, and Clemson are all within a game of first place in the league. Because that magic number, get in the top 10 and you make the tournament. There was 2 years ago where Pitt hosted and did not qualify for the tournament. So you obviously want to put on a show for your home crowd.
And to not have to deal with the stress of traveling, the stress of practicing at a different facility. It's an advantage to have it at home and for the first time, and for Duke to be at the top of the league this year. I know they're excited.
Opportunity here for Corbin, and a nice play in foul ground. Both these programs will host their conference tournaments. So Wilmington's story is a little different. Delaware was projected to host, but with them putting in a bid to move to Conference USA, the conference opened it up for a bid, and credit this Wilmington administration. They took it on and will host coming up in early May. The Seahawks will host both the baseball and softball tournament, back-to-back weeks. This one will test the wind, and a nice recovery from Stockton to end the inning. But Duke gets it.
Now playing right field for the Blue Devils, number 23, Sarah Goddard.
Sarah Goddard will come into play right, but right now she's at second base with this 5 infield shift, and Claire Davidson will go to left.
At the plate,
Elizabeth
16,
Winstead.
Elizabeth Winstead.
We'll see a couple of Winsteads in this matchup. Elizabeth and Emily. Emily, an elite pitcher for this staff. Elizabeth, great hitter at the plate. One stays outside. Elizabeth, the older sister, they're not twins, but Emily actually reclassified in high school to join her sister, both as juniors. And that one poked out of play, both from Rocky Mount Academy, which is about an hour and a half from here if you go straight east. I would have loved those conversations. Hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I think I'm going to join my sister on the softball team in the same year. Their parents, Angela and Kent, hopefully watching today and having some fun. That time, Elizabeth's a bit late. It's a 2-2 count. 2-2. Nice stab at third. Anna Gold so sharp over there at third base for the first out.
Yeah, Anna Gold is another one of these defensive players for Duke that make it look too easy. They're getting the first out of the inning. Something really interesting that Dani Drugmuller is doing throughout this game, not only she's pitching very well, but she's calling her own game. So the numbers that you see Dani put up is a pitch call to her battery mate, Francesca Freilich, which is a very interesting strategy. In 2024, we've seen the integration of technology into softball. College baseball has had it now for a couple of years, but a one-way communication device is now legal. But Dani Drugmuller says, no, we're going to go old school. I'm going to call my own
This is my
games.
one-way communication.
Exactly.
I'm calling the pitchers, and you have a All-American and Marissa Young as a pitcher herself at Michigan State, or Michigan, pardon me, watching away. This Duke staff, a tremendous pitching staff this year. #1 in the ERA in the country. Here's Marissa and her staff. Color coordinating every pitch with stickers. Tells you about the intimate details that makes this Duke team take a huge jump in the circle. 1.1 team ERA. And that one will stay foul. Duke 2-0 all-time against Wilmington as part of this doubleheader today. There's a test for the pit transfer, and she's all over it. Only 2 hits allowed. She's very composed in these first 5 innings.
Yeah, you can tell she's a graduate student. You can tell she's been here before, and she's making adjustments very quickly. If she misses too far off the plate, she comes right back there with her best stuff. Right now, her drop ball is working, her changeup working, and that off-speed rise ball is working very well as well.
Has kept the Wilmington hitters off balance, complimenting 4 strikeouts, and now the slap hitting bottom of the order, Cassidy Relay, who had 2 runs Sunday and a nice come from behind win over Elon, allowed Wilmington to sweep the Phoenix. That was an 8-3 win. Wilmington's best start in 2 years, and in that season they won all but 3 games in the conference. They've only lost, or pardon me, they haven't lost a home game under new coach Ashley Wade in CAA play. Such a dominant start to the home conference slate. Coach Wade joking, I'd be okay if we didn't lose a conference home game all year, because that would include the tournament, of course, coming up in May. And there's a strike.
I like the strategy there by Cassidy Relay to try to drop a bunt down the right side, the first base line, seeing that Giselle Tapia is not as crashed as Anna Gold is on the third base side, unable to do it there.
Drugmuller hits the top of the zone for strike 2.
I mean, when Dani Drugmuller can hit the bottom of the zone with a plus drop ball with late break, and then fill it up with a fastball at 67 miles per hour right at the belt. I mean, it's just so hard to hit both of those planes well. The graduate student is pitching very well here today.
One of 4 teams in the country who are top 10 in ERA and batting average. It really gives you some perspective. Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, and this #4 ranked Duke team. Leaning on a transfer this time, and good defense to end the inning.
Number 10, Deanna Jennings.
Welcome back to Durham, and the top of one of the best orders in the country, Deanna Jennings, who's 0 for 2. Her and Kelly Torres, the 2 players yet to reach lineup. Give a lot of credit here to Peyton Eckerd. 3 unearned runs in the second, and she's kept Wilmington in it. A true freshman, only 15 innings entering today. That ball's kicked, and then a race to first, just safe. Advantage the speed of Jennings, beating out Copeland.
Yeah, speed does not slump, and Deanna Jennings has speed. There we see kind of uncharacteristically, but just shows how many tools that Deanna Jennings has in her toolbox. She stood in and hit. Normally she's moving her feet. Normally she's dropping bunts, slapping on the left side. There we see her pull the ball to the right side, and just shows the toolbox that Deanna Jennings has.
That's why Jennings is now 7th in the ACC in hits, Alex Coleman, first-year Carolina transfer, 46 hits to lead the country. That's a big impact piece for a new coaching staff. They have a big series with Georgia Tech coming up this week. Here's the always dangerous Anna Gold. Off the end of her bat. That is actually foul, believe it or not. That kind of surprises me there, but yeah, foul ball, John. Chambers all over it.
And I think if you're on a Gold, you're pretty thankful that that was called fouled. Caught off on her front foot by that changeup by Peyton Ecker. But credit the freshman, like you mentioned, Evan. She's come in, she's battled, and even in the bottom of the second, when you give up 4, you walk ahead or you hit somebody, to bounce back the way she has is a great sign of your head coach, Ashley Wade.
Runner takes off. A good throw, and the speed of Jennings again, so dangerous. Duke with 30 steals, and Deanna's got 8 of her own.
It just puts pressure on the defense, and it puts pressure on the woman behind the plate.
Okay, so the runner did leave in proper time.
And now, Evan, coaches have put in place people in the dugout to just point that out and go to the head coach and say, hey, we think she left early. You know, the hard part is you got to be certain because you only have 2 challenges per game. No
one better than Madison Federico of North Florida, 25 steals. And we're a month into the softball season. Another chance and a better throw from Meadows. Jennings thought she read dirt ball, but a good stop by Meadows back there.
A really nice stop by Meadows. I like the move to be aggressive by Deanna Jennings, seeing the changeup in the dirt, but there, Meadows with the advantage because she picked that very cleanly, threw Jennings out. What a play.
Oh, that goes off the third baseman, then Sabatica will eat it. It was hit hard off Corbin. Good news, Peyton Corbin's okay, because that ball was hit. If he had an exit velocity, that would be 100 plus.
Yeah, that one hurt, and I think if I were playing third base with Anna Gold in the box, I would probably be on the edge of the dirt in the outfield.
Better safe than sorry for a woman who's got a ton of power. 35 career homers for Anna.
I think they're giving them an error, too. Oh, my goodness, that's tough.
I think even Anna herself's going to have some words after the game for the official scorer. We mean that in good taste, of course. So Claire Davidson benefits with a runner on now. Claire has found her power stroke. 4 home runs in ACC play. She's late on that pitch. That wind is suddenly howling out, definitely to center. 1 home run so far today. That was Francesca Freelich last inning. In the words of her teammates, Claire is working at the plate this year. Enters on a 3-game hit streak. One of the best in the ACC right now. Getting on almost 50% of the time, and she gets hit right there.
Yeah, Claire Davidson, her second hit by pitch of the day, and I think that's a result of the fact that you have to pinpoint the black of the plate when you face Claire Davidson, because if you miss over the white, she'll make you pay. So in a lot of ways, the miss in too far to hit Claire Davidson is a better result than a 2-run home run.
Claire's now 3rd in the ACC, getting hit 7 times this year. Was not a strength of hers in previous seasons, but you're right, the way she crowds the plate and that power, it tests pitchers.
And she just has so much power to her backside, so you have to attack her in to have any chance.
That one rolled into the hole. Nice scoop by Vitola, and there's the second out. It is fitting that both these teams have elite hit-by-pitch players. Skylar Stockton, who's in left. She's now been hit 30 times in her Wilmington tenure. That has set a program record. Which, do you get like a Golden Bruce for that? You get plaques for All-American, you get plaques for leading the nation in home runs. You got to have a plaque for getting hit by pitches.
It's only fair.
It's probably a softball with crutches around it. Enduring that pain and helping out this team. 2 outs now for the middle of the Duke lineup. Burgess in a good spot to extend this lead. That one actually accidentally found your bat. Eckert goes away. This is slapped to left, and Stockton has it. Wilmington strands 2 more. Welcome back to Durham, where a pit transfer, Danny Drugmuller, who last year was the 3rd pit pitcher in program history to have multiple seasons of 100 strikeouts. She comes now in the back end of Duke's bullpen and a situational starter. Really good through 5 innings. 2 hits, 1 unearned run, and if you are Danny, you are almost auditioning for innings this year, and what a nice performance against UNC Wilmington. She will face the top of this Wilmington lineup. Taylor Vitola, an elite slap hitter, who gets on at a 360 clip. We told you Sarah Goddard has come in right. She'll now play on the infield against this 5-man defense.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Evan, kind of auditioning for innings, and if this is an audition, I'm giving her the role. I mean, what a job that Danny Drugmuller has done so far this game, just attacking the zone, using all 3 pitches very effectively.
More impressively, no walks to 4 Ks, and a good stab by Gold. Nice throw over to her first baseman now for the out, and that's Claire Davidson, who's playing first. Burgess has returned to the outfield for Duke. Almost hit hard. Good news for the puppies. There's a nice net up there here in Bark in the Park Day. Where's our cute friends? Oh, we got one. Oh, he looks exhausted.
Look at that tongue. He's a happy dog.
Hey, nice warm day. Get to chase softballs around the field. Life can't be much better than that. With Rain Wilson, I'm Evan Budrovich. First of a doubleheader today. You see an adjustment there from the catcher behind the plate. This one is blasted out of play. That wind, if you get one up in the air today, it might leave pretty quick.
Yeah, and of all the bats in this UNCW lineup, Stockton has just looked on point today. Finding barrels, just missing pitches. Has a ton of power in her bat.
Stockton's riding a 9-game hit streak. She just made it 10 with a base hit her last time up. Not a huge power threat, but on Sunday was a home run shy of the cycle and hit one all the way to the warning track. I could only imagine her teammates' reactions in that 8-3 win over Elon. Drugmuller continues to call her signs and dots it up well. And that will be the 2nd out of the inning. One thing we've seen from both teams, better adjustments to the wind on those pop-ups the last few innings.
Yeah, and I don't know if the wind is sort of quiet down a little bit. It certainly doesn't look like it from up here in the booth, but a really nice job by both of these programs to adjust pitch to pitch.
2 outs now for Mary Sabatica. Off the end of the bat. Oh, nice play by Baker to move to her left. 6 quality innings from the pit transfer. Danny Drugmuller. A home run for Francesca Freelick. She will possibly hit later this inning. We'll see how these lineups unfold. So Sarah Goddard now comes up. Freelick is in the on-deck circle, so she'll come up next after her home run. Goddard making her 120th appearance for Duke, the senior outfielder. Takes advantage, the wind's howling, and Goddard off the top of the wall. A chance for 2, and she has it. Playing a little wall ball here in the 6th.
That's a double for Sarah Goddard. You know what that means. It's time for the double.
What a swing by the senior Sarah Goddard. Wow. off the bat, Evan, I think we both thought that was gone. Wind kind of coming from left to right, may have knocked that one down. Really nice job by Cassidy Relay, the freshman, to get that ball in, but not in time to get Sarah Goddard at second, who just barreled that ball, just caught a little bit too much of the light, and Goddard made Eckert pay.
Would have been a few feet away from her second home run in 2 weeks. She blasted a nice home run at Liberty last week.
Number 13, Francesca Freelig.
Coach Ashley Wade's Wilmington team, despite the 3 errors, they've kept Duke within striking distance. The 4 runs, only 1 earned. Big difference in the second. And now Freelig, fresh off her 3rd homer of the year, takes another shot to center. Freelig with a drive, and it's caught. Relay there with the wind in her face, brings it in. Nice effort from the Wilmington center fielder.
Yeah, really nice job on both sides of the ball there. Freelig gets that one up into the jet stream. But Cassidy Relay finding the wall early is key. If the young outfielders are watching, find the wall early, then find the ball back again. There, Relay does it well and gets the first out of the inning.
Relay's the traditional left fielder, but Wilmington loves Stockton in left because of the numbers of balls that go out that way, as Duke will score on the wild pitch. And I love that coaching strategy. Analytics say more balls are going to left field, so we're going to slide Stockton to left and use Relay's speed in center as well.
Yeah, it's interesting to kind of look at the numbers that you typically receive as a defense and also match them with the team you're playing. And for Duke, they hit a lot of balls up the middle, and Cassidy Relay's been busy today.
And wild pitch makes it 6-1 Duke. This is the first of a doubleheader. Blue Devils have 5 hits. And now Jada Baker, who has walked. Baker with a test for Relay. And a retreating catch. Nice snag against the wall. You noted it, Rain. A busy inning out there for Relay.
Yeah, and Duke just continues to barrel the ball up the middle, and that is huge for this offense. And I wonder, Evan, if in Game 2 we see head coach Ashley Wade make that change to move Skylar Stockton back to center, just considering how many balls are hit to center. But we talked to head coach Ashley Wade before this matchup, and she said that move in particular is crucial when Kara Hammock is pitching. So if she comes into the game, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
And Kara Hammock's one of the best pitchers in the country by ERA coming in. That tandem of Winstead and Hammock, I think we'll see both in Game 2. And now Duke goes to its bench. Aaliyah Terrell, the Boston College transfer from nearby Page High School down the road in Greensboro. Terrell, more of a defensive specialist, pitch hitting option. He's played in 16 games for Duke. And I like here Coach Young going to her bench, especially in this doubleheader midweek. That's Morgan Britt, the right fielder who you see creeping on your screen. She's playing up the middle. So not much space here for Terrell. That time, Eckert finds the zone. 92 pitches into her longest outing as a Wilmington Seahawk. I realize some wild pitches, some errors, but to keep her team in this game, I've been impressed with Eckert today. Her defense might get her out of this. Nice throw from the shortstop, Sabatica, to end it. And just that, Eckert 6 quality innings. Now Wilmington needs to score some runs. And now Danny Druckmiller looks for the complete game effort. Has been very effective. 1 unearned run in the first, otherwise dominant. Searching for her 4th win of the year as a Duke Blue Devil. And pounds the zone at 67 with ease, even in the 7th inning.
Kelsey Zampa.
Yeah, she's pitched an absolute gem so far. And she's done it by throwing hard, but also pulling the string at the right times and calling her own game. It's just been so impressive to watch.
Morgan Britt will come up for UNC Wilmington. three-year starter in the outfield for the grad senior out of Lumberton. Wilmington 2 hits, not many answers for an elite ACC transfer in Danny Drugmuller. And that arm side run to a righty, that would be a difficult task for any hitter.
Yeah, she's got run to both sides, but she also will change eye level. She'll throw that drop ball hard and down, but then she'll spin it up, and just changing those eye levels is another aspect of her game to keep these hitters off balance.
You see her calling her own game here so far. Good location for strike 2.
And I wonder if that decision for her to call her own game was, hey, listen, it's a midweek, let's play around with it, let's see how you do calling your own game, or if it's how they've always done things. I'm very curious to see if this weekend against Louisville we see Danny Drugmuller call her own game, because, man, what a job she's done mixing up pitches.
It's a big road trip at Louisville for the Blue Devils. Then they'll host Virginia Tech the following week. And right back to her, good hands for the first out. What a weapon going intra-conference for Duke. Here we are 3 weeks into conference play.
19,
Tech 9-0, not surprising. Duke 5-1, Clemson 5-1. Those are 2 or 3 teams that'll be in the regional conversation. And UNC Wilmington predicted 4th in the CAA. They're the best team right now by record, 6-0. And that pitch is called a little inside to Lauren Cope. UNCW hit the buses tomorrow, head up to Towson, Maryland for a road conference series. Wow, that pitch is called outside just a touch as well.
Yeah, Drugmuller right around the zone here, and of course in the later innings, top of the 7th with the healthy lead. All you want to do is attack the zone, just a little adjustment by the grad student.
Does just that. Tough hop, and that goes off the glove of Claire over at first base. And she's playing with a traditional glove, not a first baseman's mitt. Unable to squeeze that one.
Yeah, not typically the position we see Claire Davidson in. She's been an outfielder. I doubt she's had very many reps at all, but I know head coach Mercy has a lot of confidence in the athlete that is Claire Davidson. I think on that play, it took a weird hop on Anna Gold, so she kind of barehanded it, didn't get a great grip on it, and it kind of led an awry throw from Anna Gold.
That's a rare error for this Duke defense. And here's Gentry Meadows. These teams will bounce back 30 minutes after this last out and get set for a doubleheader today. Get a little sandwich in, get ready to roll for game 2. And this might do it. There's one. Baker turns the double play. And this Duke defense flashing at the right time. A complete game win for Danny Drugmuller. Excellent in 7 innings.
Without gas being flown, lost in the darkness, can't find my way. My heart's gone missing, led astray. The depths of sorrow, I search in vain for the pieces of my heart lost in pain. Where did it go? I ask in despair, in the empty echoes. No one's there. I wander aimlessly through the night, hoping to reclaim what once was right. My heart's been lost in the shadows of doubt. I'll find it again. I'll scream and shout through the trials and tears. I'll never stop till my heart is found and the pain drops on. In the silence of the night, I hear his call. A distant whisper through the wall. I follow the sound with hope renewed, knowing deep inside my heart's imbued with strength and courage. I'll forge ahead through the darkness where my heart has fled. For in the depths of despair, I find my light and reclaim my heart with all my heart's been lost in the shadows of doubt. I'll find it again. I'll scream and shout through the trials and tears. I'll never stop till my heart is found and the pain drops on. take, I draw near to the beating of my heart loud and clear. For though it was lost, it's never too late to find my heart again and seal my fate. In the journey of life we may stray.